What's up everyone, Emerald here from Emerald's Daily Carry, and today we're going to be looking at the 6-liter Venture Sling from Bellroy. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. On this channel we like to talk about bags, slings, and everything in between to help you get the perfect bag so that you can get on your adventure faster. This is our very in-depth full review of the Venture Sling. If you just want the meat and potatoes version, please wait until the overview video that is going to come out shortly. But if you are actually considering buying this bag, stay tuned because we'll tell you everything there is to know about the Venture Sling after using it as our EDC carry for a few months. We'll measure its actual volume with beans, we'll pack it out, and then we're going to grade it based on our own analytical rubric to give you something to think about if you are actually going to purchase this bag. There are chapter markers all along the video so you can skip to the section that you care about. But before we continue, you know the drill. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, you slap that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss any more Emerald's Daily Carry goodness, and buckle up because this one's going to be a long one.
You can have whatever you like. Whatever you like.
Some background information about Bellroy and the Venture Sling before we continue. This sling retails for $129 on Bellroy's website, but you can also find it on Amazon. This is the 6-liter Night Sky variation, but you can also find it in a 2.5-liter, 9-liter, and a 10-liter camera edition in black, green, and bronze, all in the Venture lineup. The Venture line from Bellroy combines their unique aesthetic with tougher, more weather-resistant materials, basically a little bit more rugged variations of their offerings. All Venture line items have AquaGuard zippers, and their newest additions to the Venture line, the Venture Travel Crossbody and the Venture Travel Pack 26, have this new rubbery material that I can only assume is the element-coated nylon because Bellroy never makes it easy to find out what materials are on their bags. And if you didn't know already, Bellroy is an Australian manufacturer founded in 2010. You can find out a lot more information about them on their website, link in the description, and we'll talk a little bit more about Bellroy as a company in the company section of our rubric. Now we're going to talk about specs. We'll compare the specs on the website to our measurements that we take here in the studio. The listed weight is 345 grams. The listed external dimensions are 220 by 300 by 100 millimeters, and the listed volume is 6 liters. Now we're gonna do our measurements in the studio. For our actual weight, we're gonna use our scale. And just to keep things simple, I'm gonna unbuckle the harness system and put it in the bag. All right, and our actual weight is coming in at 413 grams, which is a little bit more than the listed weight. And now we're gonna measure the external dimensions of the bag. I have my tape measure here. So I've got about 11 inches across, about 8 inches wide, and a depth about 3 inches. So our measurements are just slightly off from the listed dimensions on the website, so it's still pretty good. Now for the fun part, we're gonna see how accurate the capacity of the bag is to the actual liters of the bag. We're gonna put beans inside, we're gonna measure it to the liter mark, and then we're just gonna fill the bag with beans until we can't fit anymore. If you wanna learn more about our bean test, you can check out this video over here. But without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so as far as main compartment capacity, I think we're about at 3 liters. There is a little bit more space here on the top, but just because of the way that the bag has to close, the top has to kind of come up and around the beans. So I really don't think that we can push it any further. You can see here on this side that our left wall is kind of really caving in, but that is just the design of the bag. So I really do think that this is just about as tight as we can make it. Beans are already gonna probably start coming out once we start closing this. And just for fun, let's just see how many beans we can stuff in the front. All right, so there's the bag fully packed out. I was able to fit about 8 more ounces of beans in the quick access pocket. So that quick access pocket is really not very big, especially if you're gonna fill out the main compartment. There's really not gonna be a ton of room in there for anything besides your keys and maybe like your tiny wallet or one card. But this is what the bag looks like when it's fully packed out with beans. You can see that we're getting a little bit of spillage on the side because the main compartment does have holes on the sides here. So I'm not gonna try to sling this over my back, but just so you can see what this bag can look like fully packed out, This is what it looks like. It looks kind of atrocious. So give me a moment to take out all the beans from this bag and we're gonna continue on with the video. But first, a word from our sponsor. And what a shocker, it's me, Emerald. I'm sponsoring this video. Thank you so much for watching and let's get back to the review. So our actual capacity ended up being just around 3.1 liters, maybe 3.2 liters if we're being really generous, but not really anywhere close to a 6-liter bag as far as the actual volume that you can carry. Remember that the beans still have air holes in between them, but they are still packed pretty tightly and it's still gonna be a lot more volume of stuff that you can fit in a bag like this than actual things could hold, just because your actual things are gonna have even more air gaps in between. So just to give you an idea of the full volume of capacity of this bag, it's about 3.1. And here's the bag when it's worn on me. For reference, I'm 5'7" and 135 pounds. And here's the bag on a larger man. He is 6 foot, 200 pounds. All right, let's talk about materials. Bellroy is super notorious for not making it easy to find out what their bags are made out of, but we tried really hard to get all that information for you. According to the product page for the Venture Sling bag, this is made out of 70% recycled nylon, 10% recycled polyester, 10% nylon, 5% plastic, and 5% of quote-unquote other materials that are not specified. I have no idea where those materials are located on the bag because that is all they give you on the product page. The recycled materials are made out of PET bottles, industrial nylon cutoffs, and fishing nets, so it's really environmentally conscious. Judging based off of the 7 different options on the nylon section of the materials page, I can only assume that this is the Bita ripstop nylon, but your guess is as good as mine. This has a crinkle finish to fit with a wider ripstop weave grid pattern that you can see. This is supposed to be equal parts lustrous and durable according to the material description. It's also good to know that even in the same product category, Bellroy uses different materials based on the different colors. So if you have the night sky version, you're gonna have the Bita ripstop nylon, but you might have a different material if you have a different color, just so you know. So every other material that I'm gonna mention in this section is just an educated guess because nothing is on the Bellroy material website or on the product page, so just bear with me. This Bellroy front logo, I believe, is made from a silicone heat transfer just because of reports of this being peeled off after a couple months of use. The main compartment zipper pulls are made of a braided paracord with this heat shrunk tube at the bottom. This quick access zipper pull is made out of a sewn nylon. And just so you know, I have ripped my finger open with the burnt edge right here, so just be careful with that. And both of these zippers are gonna be YKK AquaGuard, which just means that they're gonna be a little bit more weather resistant, but also means it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to open and close, just a little bit more tension on that pull. These don't make the compartments waterproof though, because there are holes within the main compartment and there is a small hole here where the zipper ends at the quick access pocket. Bellroy uses their stretch mesh material here in the front with 2 slip pockets, and there are 2 more slip pockets here on the sides with the same stretch mesh material. And again here for your sunglass holder. The interior lining of the bag is not specified on Bellroy's website, but it feels like a woven fabric of some type. My best guess is that it's the Canva ripstop, which is made from a recycled polyester. There are 2 frame sheets here in the bag, one on the front lip and one on the back. They help with structure and support. We have Duraflex metal hardware on the harness strap, 2 points of adjustment, and then 2 quick release buckles. And something to note is that I have 2 scuffs on the quick release buckle, just from normal wear and tear use for about 3 months, so the coating here has just gotten shaved off. This actual harness is made out of a woven nylon of some sort. It's not specified on the website. Also, the product page shows a more seatbelt material, like a shinier nylon, so this is completely different than what is on the product page. And just from normal wear and tear use for a couple of months, some of the nylon has started to fray just slightly, but I wonder how this is gonna hold up in the long run, just because you're slinging the bag back and forth onto your shoulder from the front to the back. This is gonna be rubbing on your clothes constantly. So the fact that they went with this softer material is a little bit interesting to me, just because this bag is made for outdoor use. Overall, the materials are very good quality, minus the minor cosmetic damage that we've gotten over normal use. We'll have our final thoughts on material choices once we get to grading this bag. Okay, Okay, now let's talk about the layout and the features of the Venture Sling. Starting out with the front with the quick access pocket, you have two small slip pockets here with Giga Mesh, and you have one key leash holder. This is a very shallow and narrow pocket, so you're not gonna be able to fit a whole lot of stuff in there. This zipper also doesn't go the entire length of this pocket, so getting things in and out of here might be a little bit difficult if you have a longer item like a phone. We have our two-way zipper here that Bellroy is very well known for, and this is how you get access to the main compartment. Opening up the main compartment, you see that we have a sunglass holder with that same mesh material and then a soft lined interior. We have two stretch mesh pockets here on each side. There's another one there. Looking at this back wall, we have two slip pockets here, good for a notebook or a wallet, and a separate zippered compartment here on the back that runs about 70% of the way of the back panel, and it goes about yay deep from the back. This is really good for items that you don't need quick access to, or really smaller flat items like a passport. And this Bellroy tag at the bottom, you can use it to put an air tag in. I don't think this is in a very good spot. You lose a lot of dimension at the bottom and it sticks out way too much. It's very hard to get in there. I would suggest if you are gonna put an air tag, just literally put it anywhere else. Just put it in one of these side pockets, it's not gonna fall out. This shoulder strap is adjustable and it has an infinity loop type of system, so you're not gonna have any dangle, which is super awesome. As a person with the smaller frame, I did think that even at the minimum length that this was a little bit too big for me, but if you are a bigger person, then you're gonna have no problems. Just keep that in mind if you are a small person like I am. You might still find this a little uncomfortable. But the strap is very easy to adjust, just pulling on the loops here, and it sits very comfortably on the chest or the back. There are two quick release buckles here on either side of the bag. You do have to push in and then pull out, and that's how it works. Did take me a minute just to figure that out, but I got it. Some user error there. The back and the bottom of the bag is padded for extra protection, and probably the best known feature of all these Bellroy sling bags is the self-compression strap. So when you are wearing the bag, it's going to naturally cinch and tighten around you just based off of tension. And it's going to make the bag a lot smaller if you're not using the entire capacity, and it keeps the silhouette super nice and clean. Overall, the bag feels like it has just enough organization to not feel cramped, but stay tuned to hear our final thoughts when we get to our grading section. Now we're gonna do a few packing scenarios to see what can practically fit in this bag and what you could possibly use this bag for. Our first pack out is gonna be for airplane travel. So I have a bunch of items here. I don't think all of it's gonna fit, but we're just gonna see what can fit where, maybe take some stuff out, see if like a switch fits, all that kind of stuff. So let's get into it. Starting out with our front quick access pocket. I'm gonna put my keys on the key leash. I'm gonna put my AirPods in the quick mesh, my medicine in the other quick mesh. Close that up. Open up this main compartment here. My passport and my wallet in the back zippered compartment. My charging cable I think can go here in the side pocket, and my snack can go in the other side pocket. Now I'm gonna put all of my long and flat items here towards the back panel. My Nintendo Switch, it does fit. My Kindle, very nice. I have an eye mask for the plane, a power bank, another snack, and this is the same size as like an iPhone 15. Okay, so everything kind of fits besides I don't think that the water bottle is gonna fit, but there it is, packed out in all of its glory. It is a little bit heavy, but definitely doable to carry with you at the airport. Okay, so now I'm at my destination and I'm just gonna take out the things that I don't need from the airport and now put some stuff in that I'm gonna need on my daily walk. So I took out my Switch and my Kindle and I'm gonna replace it with an expandable tote bag, some sunscreen, some sunglasses. I'm gonna put that in the sunglass holder here at the top of the bag. This pocket is big enough to accommodate actual sunglasses or even a sunglass case. And the last thing is my water bottle. Perfect, it all still fits. So as you can see, this bag has a really versatile layout to accommodate a bunch of different items that you might be carrying on your next trip. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Now that we've gotten through all the elements of the bag, it's time to rate it against our analytical rubric. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check out this video here in the corner. It's going to tell you everything that you need to know about our grading system and how we score it. First up, as far as weighted categories are concerned, we're going to do 40% on design, 35% on components, 10% on marketing, and 15% for unique value proposition. Design is going to be the heaviest weighted category when it comes to grading sling bags because they're mainly used as an on-the-go fashion item to empty your pockets. And while components are very important, they do get outweighed by fashion. For some of the subcategories, we will be comparing this sling to other slings in its class, and we determine that class based on volume, so we will be comparing this to other slings in the market that are within the 5 to 7 liter range that you might be looking for that also check boxes for EDC, travel, or very light camera use. Now, this is not intended to be a full-blown comparison between this sling and all the other slings on the market, but we just picked slings that you're probably going to be looking at if you are looking at the Venture Sling because they do have a lot of similar features. Some of the other sling bags in this class that we took a look at include the Nomadic Navigator, the Wandered Rogue, Chrome Industries Sabin, the Peak Design Everyday Sling, the Alpaca Go Sling, and the Air Pro Sling. Starting with aesthetic, this is where Bellroy really shines among the competition. They are known for really sleek, fun, and quirky aesthetic. They have a great design language that is both subtle, fresh, and sleek. So for those reasons, we gave this bag a 4.75 for being nearly perfect. For function, we scored this bag at a 3.25. According to the product page, this bag is meant for urban and outdoor adventures, so it was a little disappointing to not have a lay flat zipper on the back panel. This would have been a really great addition for holding flat items like a phone or a passport when you're in transit or traveling. What's even more interesting is that you're not going to find a lay flat zipper anywhere in the Bellroy lineup besides two options: their 2-liter laneway belt bag and their 3-liter Venture Travel crossbody bags. Both of those bags are even smaller than this one and don't share the same silhouette as the original Bellroy sling bags. For these reasons, although the bag has really great internal organization, and although having a back flat lay zipper is not standard on travel bags, it is sorely missed when you don't have one. For build quality, we scored this bag a 3.75. There have been reports of this lettering coming off within the first couple of months of normal use. I've experienced the black coating on the metal hardware to start to chip away after a couple of months of use, and I personally don't think that the Vita ripstop was a good choice for this bag. This material is a little bit too textured for my taste, and it also is very difficult to clean minor stains. These two marks are from sunscreen. I've tried to wash it out with a little bit of detergent and water, and they are just caked on there. In addition, there's a bunch of debris and like little specks of dust and cat hair that just kind of gets on this bag, and it's very difficult to get rid of. I just feel like having this bag be oriented to travelers, urban, outdoor people, having a fabric that's not easy to clean or just gets very dirty quickly isn't a really good choice. I'm also really confused about this harness strap. I'm not exactly sure why I have a woven strap, and with the product page, photos clearly show a more seatbelt-like nylon that's a lot more shiny and would probably be better for the use case of this bag. Material choices aside, the build quality of the materials is very good, so I had to bump up the score a little bit, but 3.75 for build quality. For protection, we scored the Venture at 3.5. It has more protection than the light sling in their lineup, but it's not going to come anywhere near a hard-shelled sling like the Navigator or the Everyday Sling from Peak Design. But those two slings are camera specific, so it does make sense that they're going to be a lot more robust. This sling is going to be good for pretty much all use cases, unless you are carrying camera equipment, or if you like drop this bag from a 10-foot story building or it gets rolled over by a car. Your bag is going to be pretty fine, and your stuff inside is going to be good for most use cases. For comfort, we scored the Venture a 3.5. It's not uncomfortable, it's not super comfortable, it's just very middle of the road and kind of what you expect for a bag this size. We do like the adjustable harness system, the fact that it has no dangle, the fact that it is very adjustable. You're not going to have a little bit of issue if you have a smaller frame, but it is designed to accommodate a lot of different body sizes, and it does sit fairly flush against your back or your chest when you're wearing it. You can also ambidextrously change from left to right shoulder while the bag is still on you, which is really nice. The harness system is thick, but it's not padded, so if you're gonna carry any more than a couple pounds worth of things, or if you're gonna be doing a really long trek throughout the day, this might get a little fatiguing, but it's very normal for a bag this size. Nothing to write home about, very standard 3.5. For access points, we scored the Venture a 4. It has 3 access points, 2 for the main compartment and 1 for the quick access compartment. The main compartment can be accessed through the left or the right side with these two-way zippers. It's a super well-known feature of Bellroy sling bags that I am not a huge fan of. While this does give you great access to the side of the bag that you open, it limits the access to the other side of the bag where the two zippers are now competing for space. Because of this, some larger, flatter items like a Nintendo Switch might have to be angled before it gets put down. But I did give this category a 4 because this is a very unique feature from Bellroy, and I feel like I'm the only one that doesn't like this as a feature, so 4 for access points. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to components. For zippers, we scored it a 3.25. These are very standard zippers that you can find on almost any bag. We knocked off a few points because these zippers are somewhat cumbersome to access. Firstly, because they are AquaGuard zippers, they are a little sticky just by nature, but secondly, they are slightly pointless because there are holes to the main compartment and to the quick access compartment of the bag, so what's the point of having AquaGuard zippers if your stuff's still gonna get wet? They could have designed maybe zipper garages or something else to kind of make sure that this seam was in fact waterproof. I don't think that was the intention. It's really just more for aesthetic and looks. So because of that, it's not really functioning in the way that it's supposed to, so 3.25. For the harness system, we scored this bag a 4. We like the quick release functions and the infinity loop design of the strap. That means that there's no dangle to worry about, but we couldn't give this a perfect score because the material choice of the harness is a little bit confusing because this is supposed to be more of an outdoor specific bag. Having a softer fabric like this is kind of not the vibe. For the back panel, we scored the Venture a 3. It's not the most breathable, it lacks a back zipper, but it does offer some padding and a frame sheet, so it's very in the middle of the road. For the main compartment, we scored the Venture a 3.5. It has pretty good internal organization, but just because of the design of the bag, it is made for shorter and smaller items. For quick access, we gave the Venture Sling a 2.5. There are a few reasons for this. First, the zipper placement makes the opening a little bit harder to get larger items into because the zipper doesn't go all the way across the bag. So trying to get a phone in here into the corner is going to be a little bit difficult. For the amount of things that you might want to put into this pocket, you're not going to be able to fit very much. Your keys are going to fill up basically most of this space. And then if you have AirPods or a wallet, all of this space is going to be taken up. In addition, I would not feel comfortable with putting a naked phone without a screen protector inside of this pocket with keys because I'm just afraid of the keys scratching my screen. Also, this lip material here is just a rain catch and it's also a debris catch. I don't know if you can see all of that stuff, but that's just from 3 months of normal use and it's very difficult to get that stuff out. Not to mention that there is a hole here on the side that the zipper cannot actually fully close. So in an event of rain, all of your stuff's gonna get wet anyway. All's to say that there's a lot to be improved upon in this quick access compartment. I will say that even just having this pocket have a little bit more of its own dimension would have helped it out a lot in terms of functionality, but I understand why they did it. They wanted to keep a really sleek and slim silhouette, so the sacrifice is it's just not gonna be as functional of a pocket. For features, we gave this bag a 4. There's a good combination of features and internal organization for a lot of different use cases. For uniqueness, we gave this bag a 4.75. I mean, this is really where the bag shines. There's nothing like it on the market in terms of the way that it looks. And the self-compression strap is a super huge Bellroy only feature and it works very well. Bang for buck, this bag gets a 3.25. It comes in at $129, which is a little bit on the higher end of bags in this category, $10 cheaper than the Wandered Rogue. It's in the middle of the pack in terms of price, but maybe slightly overpriced for what you get. For flavor, we gave this bag a 3. The metal hardware is a really nice touch on the harness system, and we appreciate the lighter interior lining for visibility, but overall, very standard. For company, Bellroy is a certified B Corp, which means that they have higher standards for social and environmental practices. They are pretty sustainably focused, and they are also a great place to work organization. They are definitely in a higher tier of bag manufacturers when it comes to these practices, so we gave them a 4 for company. For product page, we scored the Venture Sling a 2.5. There are a lot of areas that could be improved, specifically being more transparent about the material usage, including customer reviews, video walkthroughs, or just more product photos in general to help customers make an informed buying decision. To me, this product page feels a little bit more like a marketing landing page than an informative way for customers to get information that they need about the product. For returns and warranties, Bellroy offers you a 30-day window to do returns or exchanges. They do not offer free shipping for your return, and your bag must be in new condition with the tags and the box that it came in. For warranties, Bellroy covers manufacturing defects, faults in materials or workmanship, but they do not cover damage caused by unreasonable use of neglect, normal wear and tear, or changing your mind. This is a pretty strict policy, especially considering that Bellroy is at the higher end of the bag market. This sling costing over $120 was definitely in the higher tier of slings in their category. So it is kind of surprising that they're gonna make you pay for return shipping. So we rate Bellroy in this category a 2. For advertising, we gave this bag a 3. It's very sparse in the provided visuals to show you different loadouts and use cases. I'm also docking points because of the misleading images about the strap material. For volume, we scored the bag at 2.5 because it's super off. From 6 liters, it's 3.1, maybe 3.2 liters on a good day, so 2.5. So if we add up all of our totals and normalize our score, we're gonna get 70.24, which puts this bag in the C- category, which that might be a little low for some of you, but it really comes down to this bag prioritizing fashion and style over practical and functional. The material choices for the body and the harness system seem a little misplaced for outdoor use. This body material is a little bit too difficult to clean and it stains too easily, and this harness system is a little bit too soft for that kind of use case. Not having a back flat zipper on this bag at this price point does seem like kind of a miss, and just having it be misleading in terms of how big the bag actually is on their advertising, also kind of a miss. So in conclusion, who do I think this bag is for? I think if you've been riding the Bellroy hype train for quite some time, this is the one sling that everyone has been recommending to you. You don't carry a whole bunch of stuff, and you also value fashion and style over function, then this sling checks off all the boxes for you. It definitely brings a lot to the table, but just as far as the price point goes, I am expecting a little bit more out of something of this price, which kind of brings me to an interesting thought of like, what is the consumer expectation when you are buying a bag at this price point? Because I feel like this bag particularly kind of toes that line in between a fashion accessory and a status symbol. The brand Bellroy is very well known within the carry community, and so there's a little bit of a markup for that. But let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you wanna support the channel, there is an affiliate link to buy this bag down in the video description. If you don't wanna do that, there's always subscribing, liking, or sharing this video with a friend. My name is Emerald from Emerald's Daily Carry. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.